We're officially in eclipse season, guys, and on the 17th of February, we have got a solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius. I'm going to explain exactly what this means for your sign. We are also going to touch on the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. There's a lot of crazy energy going on in February, and I'm going to share this information with you and all 12 zodiac signs. If you're new here, hi, I'm Georgie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to dive into the energy of the eclipse today and what it means for you individually. I'm an astrologer that works mainly on how the planetary energies are affecting you in your personal life. I'm not a mundane astrologer. I actually try and avoid watching the news, so I wouldn't be a very good mundane astrologer. So my goal and my passion is helping you individually understand how the planetary energies are affecting you. I do personal readings if you'd like your own personal chart read. If you would like a little bit more of in-depth of how this is going to affect you personally, you can check out my website, which is linked on my page. But otherwise, if you get value from this, please just give the video a thumbs up, drop a comment. It helps push the video out to new viewers or anyone that would get useful information from this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss me in the abyss of YouTube. And thank you so much for being here. Now, I do work in whole sign houses. If you are a Placidus user or if you use one of the other house systems, you're more than welcome to obviously listen for more than one rising sign. But we're going to be looking at this through the whole sign perspective. Now, February is a crazy energy. Also, I would just like to say for my returning viewers, sorry that I missed the full moon, guys. I actually went on holiday for a week, so it's just a case of kind of trying to catch up with everything. So I hope you forgive me, but I am back, and we are going to touch on a few things today because there's a lot going on in February. So let's get into it. So eclipse season is here already. It blows my mind that we are already back in eclipse season. I feel like the last 6 months have just absolutely flown by. But obviously, as the North Node is moving backwards through the signs, it means that although eclipses happen twice a year, so they're roughly 6 months apart, as the North Node is moving backwards, the time of year that we have the eclipse is not going to be the same as the year before because we're moving backwards. So it's kind of slowly creeping backwards closer towards Aquarius season as the North Node moves back towards Aquarius. So the North Node is actually still in Pisces, but because this new moon is happening so close to the edge of Aquarius, it's happening 28 degrees of Aquarius, it's within 15 degrees of the North Node, so we do class it as an eclipse even though the North Node is not in the same sign. Now the nodes are representations of the moon's ecliptic around the earth, and so when the sun, and because this happens twice a year, it's either on the North Node or it's on the South Node. When the sun comes close to the North Node, this is when the planets in the sky are coming into their natural alignment. The earth, the moon, the sun, all coming into an actual natural alignment as the sun moves close to the North Node. When the moon comes round, whether it's opposing, whether it's conjoining the sun, this is when the eclipse happens. So when you think about the planets moving into their natural alignment, the sun, the moon, the earth, this is, we can kind of think of this symbolically as our own lives moving back into their own natural alignment. So eclipses come along and they do represent change, they do represent shifts, they do represent transformation, because they are forcing us, naturally giving us that little extra nudge back onto our own path, back onto our soul's destiny. So the North Node represents our destiny, what we're moving towards. The South Node the South Node is also connected to our destiny. Both this axis is connected to our destiny, but the South Node is more about things we're letting go, things we're releasing. It's kind of the spiritual part of this axis where karmic things are coming up, we're shedding, we're releasing, we're letting things go. A lot of it is very karmic, and a lot of it is very spiritual with the South Node, and it's about what we're shedding, what we're releasing, what no longer serves us. So the South Node can feel kind of uncomfortable as we are letting things go, things that are no longer aligned with our soul's purpose. The North Node is this huge acceleration point. It's really what we're being pulled towards, and sometimes it can actually feel like things are out of control where the North Node is. Things are happening really, really fast. There's this, imagine putting your foot on the accelerator of the gas as we're being kind of catapulted, and it's like, yes, I'm moving towards this. Sometimes it can feel a bit chaotic because you don't always have a plan. You don't always know what your plan is. You don't always know how you're going to get there. You just feel these changes happening in your life where the North Node's moving through, because it's this nudge from the universe. Do it, do it, do it. So for example, it can be you suddenly decide you're going to quit your job. You suddenly decide you're going to start a business. You suddenly decide you're going to, I don't know, have a family. It can be any million things that are happening in your life, but you don't always feel in control where the North Node is. You're just being pulled towards it. And that is natural alignment. That is the universe kind of taking over and saying, no, this is your path. If your trajectory is kind of moved off where you're meant to be going, eclipses will feel more chaotic for you as you're shoved back onto your path. Okay, so the best advice I can give you for an eclipse is to trust and surrender. Always, any eclipse, trust and surrender, trust and surrender, trust and surrender. So if you are noticing changes coming up, if you are noticing things happening, shifts happening, it's because they are supposed to be happening. So do not fret, do not be afraid. The ancient astrologers used to fear eclipses because they always thought that something bad was going to happen, and a lot of the time something bad would happen to kind of the royals, the kings, the people reigning the countries. There would be big changes in rulership along eclipses, because eclipses do have a connection to royalty, whereas in this day and age our royalty, okay, I'm in England and we have a royal family, but a lot of countries don't have a royal family. So royalty these days tends to be celebrity. So actually when eclipses come around, you can often see these big things happening with celebrities in the news, because they're kind of seen as like our royalty, because they're in the limelight, like royal families used to be back in Roman times or whatever. I've gone off on a slight tangent there, but yeah, just explaining that the powerful energy of the North Node. Now, this particular eclipse is happening in Aquarius, and this is the first eclipse in the Aquarius Leo axis. So it's quite exciting. They're starting a fresh cycle. The last time this happened with the North Node in Aquarius would have been 18 years ago. So it's kind of hard to think back, okay, what was my life doing 18 years ago? You may see similar things if you can remember back that far. 9 years ago, we would have had the reversal. So the North Node was in Leo and the South Node was in Aquarius. So you can make some comparisons there. What was happening in your life 9 years ago, because that axis of your chart will be getting highlighted if you can think back that far. Not everyone can. Now, a solar eclipse is always a new moon. So the sun and the moon are coming together. The sun actually is obstructed for a while during a solar eclipse. So it's kind of like our life force is disrupted. Our life force goes dark. There's a moment of darkness on a solar eclipse. There's a moment of uncertainty. There's a moment of, I don't know which way to turn because I can't see. Got to think of that kind of symbolically. But because it's with the North Node, again, there's this rush of a new beginning coming, and actually it can feel like, okay, I'm going towards this new direction, but I don't know how I'm going to get there. And that's kind of what a solar eclipse is. It's a very powerful new beginning. It's still a new moon. It's still a new beginning. And it's very much so a new beginning because it's with the North Node. Something new, something fresh is brewing. And this is the first of, like I said, of the eclipses in Leo Aquarius. And we're going to see a continuation of this for 2 years. The North Node's not even moved into Aquarius yet, and we're already starting eclipses. The North Node is still in Pisces. It hasn't quite finished up its 18-year stint in the sign of 18 month stint in the sign of Pisces. So you can still feel energetically things are happening in the Pisces section of your chart, as well as things happening in the Aquarius section of your chart, because the North Node is still doing its work in Pisces. So there will still be change going on for you in this section. But in this video, I'm going to focus on talking about Aquarius Leo and what's going to be kind of showing up for you, especially Aquarius mainly, because obviously we're talking about the new moon here. Now, it's happening at 28 degrees, which is a Cancer degree. So there is an element of emotion, family, security being woven into this eclipse. Aquarius in general is a sign of intellect. It's an air sign. So this is about community. this is kind of a general overview. This is community. This is conversation. Aquarius, one of the archetypes of Aquarius is the teacher. So this is about sharing new information. It's about innovation, technology, breakthroughs, doing things that don't conform to the norm, doing things outside the box, being rebellious, being called towards freedom, doing things differently, are all themes associated with Aquarius collectively. It's the collective, it's humanity. So collectively, and I will say on this note, even though I'm not going to I'm not really going to talk about, collectively what's going to be going on here, but this is really, really powerful because Saturn, that is the traditional ruler of Aquarius, has just moved into Aries, 0 degree conjunction with Neptune. This is a very rare transit. I think the last time Saturn conjunct Neptune was about 36 years ago, and it hasn't been conjunct Neptune in our lifetimes in Aries at all, and it never will. I think it was a few hundred years ago that it was conjunct Neptune in Aries at the 0 degree point. This is a very, very fresh karmic electrifying energy at 0 degrees. So because Saturn is the traditional ruler of this eclipse and it's just moved into Aries, there is this something really, really big is coming collectively. So pay attention to what's happening on the news. I don't watch the news, but Aquarius is the sign of the people, the collective, rebellion. This can be a big revolution. This can be the dissolving of a country, the dissolving of leadership, very much so. Saturn, something is falling away in order for something to begin, and there can be a rebellion coming here, especially because Pluto's now in Aquarius, right? So that's all I'm going to say on that. There's this like energy of revolution, not wanting to conform, and the start of something quite new and quite fresh collectively. 28 degrees is the third decan of Aquarius, and this third decan of Aquarius is connected to the 7 of Air or the 7 of Swords tarot card. Can't really see that very well, can you? But there's a lady sat there, she's got a mask on, she's surrounded by birds, and she's just kind of in her own little world. I'm going to read you the affirmation with this, and also as I run through the signs, I will be pulling a tarot card for you guys as well for each sign. So 7 of Air is independence, non-conformity, living life on one's own terms without people-pleasing. Now is the time for me to live life on my own terms, so I must find the courage to reject conformity. Listening to my yearning for independence is key to breaking free of groupthink and attending to my own needs. Diplomacy with others can help me be true to my call to do what I know I must do for myself. That is so Aquarian. That is so Aquarian, non-conformity. And this eclipse is squaring Uranus. So this does bring a chaotic energy, even though Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. So Uranus does obviously have an affinity with this sign, but Uranus is squaring this eclipse. So there is this, this electrifying energy involving change, involving innovation. So there can be huge breakthroughs here with technology, AI, information, like big information, news coming in, big changes within the collective, big changes within communities, and things that are shocking, things that are coming out from left field, things that we did not see coming, all possible. So actually that just adds to the story that I've just kind of mentioned. Sudden shift, sudden breakthrough, sudden change, things coming from left field. So just something unexpected. Eclipses are pretty unexpected anyway, but the squaring Uranus, it does bring an element of a wild card being thrown in. We can't always predict what happens when Uranus is involved. But Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, so this can be about our safety, our security, our money, banking systems, anything connected to our values. May be up for change, may be up for yes, innovation, yes, breakthroughs, but unexpected shifts is probably the best way to describe it. Now, I'm just having a look, I'm just double checking. There aren't really any other aspects to this eclipse. There's a wide conjunction with Venus. I mean, Venus is 10 degrees away, so you could kind of count that. It is still 10 degree, but it's a separating conjunction from Venus in the sign of Pisces. But she has been kind of trying to help as she's left Aquarius now. So this can bring in themes of relationships, again, themes of money. She is kind of trying to, bearing in mind, she's also quite close to the North Node. So Venus is trying to help this. She's trying to bring something positive. She's trying to bring harmony to something which is a little bit chaotic. And with the North Node, we can actually feel that there may be some fated connections going on under this eclipse, or fated things happening with our relationships. That may be something to kind of worth noting. But mainly the main aspect to this eclipse is the square to Uranus. There's nothing, of course, we've got Mars in Aquarius, but again, it's a little bit wide to be classed as a conjunction, which is, I'm quite pleased that Mars isn't completely conjunct this new moon in the sign of Aquarius. So like I said, it's still a new moon, but eclipses are, I'm not gonna keep repeating myself. I'm actually gonna move on to the signs, and then as we go through the signs, I'm going to be speaking about what this eclipse means for you in the Aquarius section of your chart, and then also how the Saturn and Neptune piece is taking shape as well. So we will start with Aries, as that's the first sign of the zodiac, and we will finish up with Pisces. Be sure to listen for your rising sign as the most accurate and the most literal. Your sun sign will also be very accurate as well, but also listen to your moon so you have a kind of complete, wholesome package of how this is going to be showing up for you. I also didn't mention that, I'm in the UK. This is going to be happening around midday in the UK. Obviously, adjust your time zones for where you are. If you're in America, it's going to be happening kind of early hours of your morning, and Australia later on in the day, even maybe midnight. Maybe even the you might actually even be a day ahead. But for the most of us, it's going to be happening on the 17th. Adjust your time zones. So, Aries and Aries rising. This solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius is happening in your 11th house. This is a friendly house for you. It's an air sign. Fire and air do get on. And so there is something new beginning here, and something that's going to maybe potentially be unfolding for you, a story that's going to start unfolding for you over the next 6 months, and also over the next 18 months, as you will continue to have eclipses in the Aquarius and Leo section of your chart. So something new is starting here. This can be, and I will probably say that you will more than likely experience big changes with who you're hanging around with, the groups that you're a part of, the communities that you're a part of over the next 18 months. But let's just focus on this particular eclipse over the next 6 months. There can be sudden changes to your friendships, sudden changes to communities, sudden changes to your values. Who am I hanging around with? What are these people teaching me? What are these people bringing me? What actually are they bringing to the table? And are this group of people really aligned with me? Aquarius is the sign of friendship. It is the sign of collective. And with Pluto here now anyway, this is kind of activating this. So you already may have started to see changes within your friendship groups, within communities, even changes to your goals and your aspirations for the future, because they also show up in the 11th house. But this particular eclipse is activating that, and it's going to unfold over the next 6 months. This can be, like I said, you could join a new group. You can that's really going to benefit you, and it can benefit you on a physical level. It can benefit you on a personal development level. Something is eroding, something is changing about the people that are in your life. Aquarius likes to do things differently. So you may be somebody that actually has an unusual set of friends already, or you may attract unusual people to you, or your group are just unconventional in some way and that's how you like it. And this is kind of activating something here. Now, Uranus, which is the modern ruler of this, is in your 2nd house. So there can be some changes to your values. There can be some changes to your goals for the future. Money goals can change. You may be focused more on your goals and on money aspects in some way, and your values around, okay, what am I saving? Where do I feel secure? Where do I feel safe? All of that might be coming up for you, and you might be making some plans for the future around how to feel a little bit more safe and secure, especially now that the Saturn and Neptune conjunction is happening in your first house. There's some big shifts going on with you, Aries, and you are one of the signs. You know, Saturn moving into your sign, you are going to feel this over the next few years. But Saturn conjunct Neptune in your sign, you may be a bit confused about who you are at the moment. There might be an old identity that you're letting go of, that you're struggling to let go of, or you're trying to let go of. And you could be in this in-between bit where you're shedding old layers of yourself, but actually you're not quite at the new part of yourself either. And you can just be in this in-between stage where you don't know, you've said goodbye to your old self, but you don't know who the new person is yet, and there's still work to be done. And Saturn and Neptune moving into your first house is making you realize this. There's work to be done on yourself. You may be working out how to set boundaries for yourself. You may be working out what it is that you need in order to be happy. Things can be quite heavy when Saturn is in your first house, and there may be some hardships that you have to deal with because you're getting a reality check. And initially this reality check might be kind of triggered and activated by your goals for the future, where you're headed, or by the other people in your life. So I'm going to pull a tarot card for you guys. But like I said, this eclipse is still quite a friendly energy for your Saturn placements, for your Aries placements, whether you're sun, moon or rising, it's quite a friendly energy for them. But just the Saturn and Neptune conjunction in your sign, you're going to really feel this big shift in, okay, who am I? Who do I want to be? And things can be coming up around that. You guys get the Messenger of Earth. So I'm going to read the affirmation for you, what this means. I like this deck because they kind of turn everything into a positive affirmation. So it's always quite helpful. Never makes you feel bad. Hardworking, proceeding with integrity, perseverance and grit, prudent and careful efforts, thoroughness, industriousness, stamina and dedication. I am in the flow, committed to co-creating with spirit effectively and efficiently. I do my best and never leave a job half done. I am dedicated and determined, knowing my efforts will pay off. So perseverance is a really, really good use of the word in terms of Saturn. It's about stamina. So I do feel like there's a lot of change coming, and stamina is needed because I do feel a lot of you are working towards something new, and a lot of this is to do with your goals and the direction of your life. And you've got to kind of persevere because you're at the start. This is the start of something, and you have to remember that you're starting something. Patience, Aries, which you're not very good at, is what is the key here for you. Okay, so let me know in the comments if that resonates. How are you feeling this energy already? Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys in the next video. Taurus and Taurus rising, you are experiencing this new moon in the sign of Aquarius in your 10th house of your career, your public image, your reputation. This house is also connected to authority figures and like your parents. Relationship status can also be part of this as well. Excuse me. So this eclipse is almost activating this Pluto placement in your 10th house. So there's changes coming for you, Taurus, around how you're seen by the world. This is the top section of your chart. This is where people see you, your public image, your reputation, what you're being seen as, and a really brand new beginning coming here for you around your identity. So Aquarius is innovation, it's breakthroughs, it's doing something different. You may be starting something new. You may be starting a new job, new career changes. Your public image is changing. People are perceiving you differently to what they perceived you before. Maybe you're entering a new relationship and that's why you're being perceived differently. Maybe you're coming out of a relationship and that's why you're being perceived differently. But Aquarius is really about being seen in an unusual light, being seen as somebody quirky, being seen as somebody different. With the square to Uranus, there's like a tension and something needs to be done here, and the change is coming from yourself. Changes to your physical body can also be apparent. Changes to how you're showing up in the world. Just, really big changes to your life direction can come from this. Really big breakthroughs, really being seen for the work that you're doing. So if you're somebody that runs your own business, this is really kind of transformative in terms of how you're being seen. So there can be some changes to the work that you're doing, to the business that you're doing, to information that you're putting out into the world. If you work for an organization, It can be that you are, you know, being offered a new job, being offered, you know, maybe you're climbing the career ladder. Maybe you are dealing with people in the workplace in a different way. That's also possible. Dealing with authority figures in a new way. With Pluto here, there can be some power struggles with people in the working environment or in the working space. You may want to assert your power. They may want to assert their power. So that can be clashes with the boss, or it can be clashes with other people in your working field that you feel threatened by, or they feel threatened by you. But you are trying to hold your power, and there's something brewing here. There's a fresh start, fresh 18-month cycle is beginning here, and it's activating this Pluto placement where your status and your reputation is going to be changing, and it's going to be changing in a way where you are seen to be somebody that is very authentic, very different, and very true to yourself. Now, the traditional ruler of this being Saturn conjunct Neptune in your 12th house, this can have a connection to spirituality, to retreats. If you're somebody that works spiritually, this can actually be that you are then seen as somebody offering a healing space, seen as somebody very spiritual, energy healing, that kind of stuff. Or if you're not in that kind of environment, it can be more that you are working with people that are less fortunate than you. You're releasing unhelpful behaviors that are holding you back career wise. It can be that you are you're really kind of trying to step into your power, but you've got to do some healing beforehand. Any self-sabotaging behaviors, any limiting beliefs that are holding you back, there's work that needs to be done here before you can be fully seen. And Saturn, you know, conjunct Neptune here, it's like, okay, what am I releasing about my career? What am I releasing about my status and my image that's actually no longer serving me? Your status can be falling away. Your current public status is dissolving. People don't know who you are anymore. Maybe you don't know who you are anymore out in the world, because something new is beginning. And it's beginning by the old you shedding as you start something new, as you start something healing, as you start something behind the scenes. Even maybe some of you could be working behind the scenes if you're not somebody that's working in a healing field. 12th house is connected to like NHS, hospitals, clinics, psychotherapy, you know, that's more kind of 8th house, but I'm thinking more like people with mental health problems, people that are struggling. Any kind of healing service is connected to the 12th house. You don't have to be somebody that's working like spiritually, but that would make sense if you were. Or just behind the scenes, just somebody that does things in the comfort of their own home, works from home, works behind the scenes. Things are changing here. But again, it's also connected to our mental health and actually how we hold ourselves back, how we play the victim. So maybe you're playing the victim around something to do with your work or a boss or an authority figure, and that is all going to change, and that's all something that you need to release and you need to let go of. You guys get the 2 of air. So there can be some options here for you, and you've got to make a decision. Stalemate, uncertainty, considering options. Time to take a break to consider my options and think about things. There is no need to rush forward. The perfect answer for highest good will come to me if I take my time and remain in a peaceful state of mind. So if you are considering a new beginning, just take your time. You know, Aquarius is about forward motion, but Saturn and Neptune in Aries kind of want to rush into something. It's Aries, it's impulsive, but you need to take your time. You may not feel that you have time with this square to Uranus. There can be like an acceleration of change, but just kind of trust and surrender and see what unfolds. So let me know, Taurus, how this is showing up for you. Can you feel this energy? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Gemini and Gemini rising. So this new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius is a friendly energy with you, more so than not. It's the 9th house. The 9th house trines you. It's a fellow air sign. So you're one of the signs that's going to deal with this a little bit more easily. But it's still an eclipse, and it still brings all of the things that I've mentioned. So a solar eclipse in your 9th house. This is big change coming for your belief systems. This is your religion, your philosophy. This is your learning, higher education. Squaring Uranus in the 12th. So this can be your spiritual beliefs. So like this can be the start of like a 6-month development in what it is that you believe in. What are your what's your worldview? What are your philosophies? What any of your belief systems show up in the 9th house. And actually within 18 months time, within 2 years time, when these eclipses are over, what you believe in may have gone through some sort of drastic change. You may be more spiritual. You may have developed a religion. Things that you thought about your life may not be true anymore. Or it can be that you're just taking on this role of really expanding your mind and learning something. You can suddenly impulsively want to go and start a course. You want to learn something. You want to start something new. You want to travel. The 9th house is travel and culture and gurus and teachers. This can be people coming into your life that are really teaching you something, helping you grow. If you're not choosing to learn something yourself. Important places of travel can occur under this. So you may be planning a trip of traveling, especially with the square to Uranus in your 12th house. But I do feel a lot of you are going to be expanding your mind and just in terms of what you're learning over the next 6 months, 18 months. Aquarius is the sign of knowledge. So wanting to learn something unusual, wanting to learn something different, you may feel called to all of those things. And Pluto's here. So there is this big change around your mind and your worldview. The 9th house is how we see the bigger picture. So you may be called towards seeing the bigger picture. And as you have eclipses in this axis, the Aquarius Leo axis, you're coming away from overthinking, focusing too much on the details, and you're being encouraged to actually see the bigger picture and have faith. 9th house is about having faith. And it can feel difficult to have faith when we have the South Node in the 3rd house, because the 3rd house is Gemini's house. There can be this anxiety around, but I need to know this, and what about this, and too much information, focus on information. And actually we need to see the bigger picture. We need to trust, we need to explore, we need to expand our horizons and focus on the natural development of that. Now, Saturn, that is the traditional ruler of this, is conjunct Neptune in the 11th house. So there can be this element of changes to your friendships. There can be this, I think a lot of your belief systems are going to be connected to the people that you're involved with in your friendship. So there can be friends that no longer serve you, friends that no longer align with you are falling away because of a belief system you're developing, or something's going on in your life and you're just changing and growing as a person, and therefore you're no longer aligned with certain groups and certain individuals. Maybe your goals are changing. Maybe you know, the North Node is still in your 10th house. Maybe there's some connection here between your career and what you're moving towards. Your goals are changing. Things are falling away. Saturn conjunct Neptune is like, okay, the things that I believed about before, I just don't believe about. I just don't believe anymore. My ideas are changing. My philosophies are changing. I don't want to be friends with these people anymore. These people are falling away from me. This group is no longer aligned with me because something new is coming. 0 degrees of Aries, new friendship groups, new communities, new goals for the future. This can also be about working or serving the collective in some way. So maybe you're going to be the person that's teaching a large group of people. You're going to be the person that's providing information to a large group of people. Traveling and expanding your community. Sharing information online, sharing information on the internet. This can be coming for you. Or changes to how you share information. If you are somebody that broadcasts or shares information in some way, changes to that. The 9th house is also connected to legal matters. So if you are somebody that's having to deal with legal matters, paperwork, you may see some sudden changes coming here, something coming from left field, enemies coming out of the woodwork, and this can have an effect on you kind of in terms of legal matters. And when I say legal matters, this can be anything. It can be divorce papers, it can be wedding papers, it can be having to go through the courts for any which reason for some way, but just having to deal with the court system, with the justice system, with quite literally legal matters. And things coming unexpectedly can come from an eclipse here. That is possible. So let's put a tarot card for Gemini. But like I said, this house is more helpful than not to you, Gemini. So I don't want you to be kind of like worrying. 9th house is bit easier to deal with because it's a positive house. It's a Sagittarius Jupiter house. You guys get the Chariot. I've had this card come out a few times recently. I really like this card. So, victory. Everything I have worked for, including the obstacles I have faced and overcome, is now part of this time of victory. I have learned to see all aspects of my life as essential to my growth. I have fallen, but now I am risen again to live freely and truthfully, fearlessly and skillfully. So that's a really positive card. It's about moving forward and victory, and actually maybe it's speaking towards you having a more positive outlook on life because of good things that are happening for you. So good luck, Gemini. Let me know how this eclipse is going for you. What are you feeling? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cancer and Cancer rising. So this new moon solar eclipse is happening in your 8th house. This is a sensitive part of your chart, guys. How have you been feeling throughout Aquarius season? I know personally it's been quite heavy as a Cancer rising. So I feel you guys. I feel ya. The 8th house speaks to lots of different things. One of those things is finances. So having an eclipse here, and you're going to be having 18 months worth of eclipses here, well, 2 years really. This does speak towards your finances and having to address your finances and changes to your finances in some way. A new moon here can suggest that you are having to adjust or pay attention to some sort of joint venture, joint finances, joint account. So the 8th house is other people's money. So this is, you know, your direct debits, your mortgage, your bank loan, your taxes. All of that nitty gritty money stuff that's not just coming from you is coming from the 8th house. And with the square to Uranus in the sign of Taurus, there can be some changes to your money, or you're having to address something. So it could be that you're having to remortgage your house, you're having to take a look at your finances, what's going in, what's going out. And maybe you're having to pay something off. Maybe somebody's lending you some money. Maybe money can be coming to you from another source. That's also possible. Pluto is here and it's now being activated by this eclipse. So Pluto here is transformation when it comes to your joint finances. There can also be changes to your partner's money. The 8th house is intimacy. It's our shared resources. So you actually might notice things happening in your partner's life when it comes to their finances, and that's showing up in your chart. There can be a breakthrough here financially for you. There can be something suddenly, you know, maybe suddenly you're paying off a debt, maybe you're just having this sudden change or light bulb moment, or you know, breakthrough idea is kind of the word I'm trying to say. You know, sudden, like, this idea comes in about, okay, that's what I'm going to do financially. That's the idea that's coming in, and that can be possible for you. Now, Saturn, that is the traditional ruler of this, is conjunct Neptune in the 10th house. So there is an element of work being connected to your money, and work, things to do with your career and money and things falling away connected to your joint finances. So what I'm trying to say is maybe you and your partner are deciding to work together career-wise. Maybe your financial state is, you're confused about your finances at the moment, or money just seems to be falling away from you, or you're struggling to earn money from a business, or you're struggling to earn money from your career. As Saturn is conjunct Neptune, there's this element of things falling away. You're confused about where things have gone. Maybe you need to set some boundaries when it comes to your joint finances. Maybe you are the one that actually needs to get yourself together and say, right, this is how much I want to earn from this. Maybe you need to go to your boss and say, this is how much I need to earn because I'm trying to pay off a debt. There's an element of something dissolving here in order for something to take place. As Saturn, move forward in the sign of Aries, away from Neptune, there's going to be this more structure that's involved. But it's just interesting that Saturn is connected to this house, and it's now moving through your 10th house of career. It can also be that your public image, people are seeing you as connected with a partner financially. People are seeing you as if you have an intimate connection with somebody, this is out in the limelight in some way. If you're working with a business partner, this is out in the limelight. Your career can be connected to working with a business partner. that's possible. Now, the 8th house is also about our psychological transformation. Okay, this is our psychology. This is our shadow work. This is our fears, our anxieties, things that we don't want to admit. This is the Scorpio house. It's everything that we bury. It's the things we don't like about ourselves. It's our shadow side. What don't you like about yourself, Cancer? And how have you been addressing this recently? Have you been addressing something out in the open? Have you been going through some sort of transformation connected to your career, connected to your public image, connected to your boss, connected to your parents? Have you been working through something? This eclipse can encourage you to work through something. The 8th house is alchemy, it's transformation, and it can also be connected to kind of any form of therapy or energy work or witchy stuff. The 8th house is the house of the psychic. It's the house of our energetic connection, as well as the 12th house. The 8th house is very energetically connected to the other side. It's the underworld. Okay, it's dark down here. So things that are buried are coming up. Things that are buried are being dissolved. Unhealthy habits being dissolved with the Saturn conjunction to Neptune. Trauma being dissolved. Or maybe you're working on your trauma. Maybe you're trying to heal your trauma. There's this real element here of a fresh start for you, healing your trauma, but it can also be connected to your career. Or like I said, parental trauma. Things coming up that you've buried deep, you're letting it go. Okay. Now the 8th house is death. Most of the time it's symbolic death. So I'm not going to say that someone's going to die, although we can see that in the 8th house. So it's just worth mentioning that we can see death within the 8th house. A lot of the time it's the death of ourselves, not physical, although again, that can be possible. But most of the time it's like the death of our ego, the death of our identity as we transform into the next version of ourselves. And with the North Node moving through Aquarius, when it comes into Aquarius over the next 2 years, you are going to be going through a psychological rebirth, which doesn't always feel comfortable, but as you're aware of it and you're doing the work, you can lean into it. You have to lean into it. Uranus, that modernly rules this, is in the sign of Taurus in your 11th house. So there can be an element of serving the collective from the work that you're doing, working with others, working through security issues. As Uranus moves direct in Taurus now, this is about where we feel secure. What are we building? What are our foundations? And a square to Uranus can feel a shake up in our foundations, a shake up in our security, a realization around, okay, where do I feel safe? Where do I feel secure? And this eclipse can be activating that. Oh, that was a lot. Sorry, guys. Tell me if you resonate with this. Tell me if you resonate. It's a heavy one, the 8th house, but, you know, it's got to be worked through. Fortune's Wheel, that is a beautiful card. I mean, we don't always know what we're going to get with the Fortune's Wheel, but surprises can come. Destiny meets synchronicity. I am in awe to experience many meaningful coincidences that prove to me that Spirit has my back. These lucky breaks and moments when things just turn out perfectly show how we're all connected. My gamble will pay off when I trust my co-creative partnership with Spirit. My destiny is obvious to me now. So again, if you're being pulled towards something, then just go with it, because you're in a transformational process with eclipses happening in the 8th house. So just lean into it. So let me know, Cancer, what's going on for you. Is it money? Is it psychological? Share the goss. Sending you lots of love. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Leo and Leo rising. This solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius. I'm just going to move the chart backwards. Sorry, there we go, just so we can actually see the moon in the sign of Aquarius. So solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius. This is your opposite sign. This is mega for you guys. It's an angular house. This is felt strongly. It's your opposite sign. This is about other people versus you. This is other people in your life. So this is monumental change, breakthroughs, new beginnings associated with your relationships. So this can bring a really powerful change, new beginning for a relationship. It can bring a new relationship. It can bring an engagement. It can bring a marriage. This is big transformative change. Change to your public image, your reputation, how you're seen in the world. This can be a new business partnership. Anyone that's coming into your life with eclipses happening in the 7th house, it's destined, it's destiny, you know, it's really important, people coming in and out. The 7th house is any one-on-one connections we have. It can be our parents, it can be our children, it can be best friends, but change is occurring within them, within their lives, and big breakthroughs, big monumental shifts, big new beginnings. It can be that you're moving in with a partner, agreements, contracts, you know, the things that you're agreeing with others, new beginnings around that, new things coming in. Again, it's in the sign of Aquarius, so this can be a very important new friendship coming into you. Now, the traditional rule of this is Saturn, and Saturn is in the 9th house conjunct Neptune. So this is something new beginning here around your beliefs, around your philosophy. Something is dissolving about your beliefs about a relationship are dissolving in some way. Maybe you are feeling confused about a relationship. Maybe you are healing something about a relationship. Maybe you're having to address something. Maybe you're having to address your boundaries within a relationship. Something is coming up here for you around your relationships, and you're having to address something. It can make you feel kind of uncomfortable, actually. Aries is about speaking your truth, just going for it. Aries doesn't hold back. It's very bold. So Saturn in Aries, Saturn likes to take its time. You may feel forced to do something, forced to say how you feel, forced to... Something quick can be happening when it comes to your relationships here. Something can be, like I said, your beliefs can be changing, but something can be quick. This can also be to do with legal matters. So, for example, if you're you can suddenly have like divorce papers sent to you, or someone wants to get going with court orders. That kind of stuff can happen because legal matters are taking place. Saturn and Neptune in the 9th house. Things are dissolving, legal processes are dissolving, and it's connected to your relationships. Can also be connected to travel. So it might be that you're traveling somewhere with a partner. But a lot of this is about your philosophies and trying to see the bigger picture when it comes to your relationships, trying to have that faith, trying to hold on to that faith. The North Node in the 8th house is being quite uncomfortable for you guys, and maybe you've been having to work through some psychological stuff. That North Node is still here. So there can be an element of becoming intimate with somebody, and it can feel kind of uncomfortable. But now that Saturn has moved out of your 8th house, actually this is much easier for you guys. There's much easier for you guys. And actually maybe you're focusing more on seeing the bigger picture when it comes to your relationships. But new people coming into your life, or something new starting with a partner. It could be that you're moving abroad, you're planning to move abroad with a partner, and these goals and these dreams are important in some way. And like I said, Uranus, that is the modern ruler of this, is in the 10th house. So there can be an element change to your public image, change to your reputation, change to your relationship status. But this can also be your work partnerships, sudden changes or changes to your work partnerships. Maybe you're breaking up with a business partner, or actually getting a new business partner, making a breakthrough with the people that you want to work with. That's also possible. Can we have a tarot card for Leos? You guys get the 10 of water. Oh, I love that for you. I love that for you. That is such a happy card. 10 of water. This is also about, by the way, other people versus yourself. Because Leo, you can be quite focused. This is about actually working through things with other people, because it's your shadow side, right? Aquarius is about the collective. It's about working with others, which can feel uncomfortable to you because you want to do everything yourself. So there is an element here on you learning how you can collaborate with others, which can feel uncomfortable. But anyway, you get the 10 of water. Serenity, peace, good fortune, and well-being. All is well with the world and with me. Well-being is my natural state. Everything I need comes to me easily and effortlessly. I feel joy and express it to others as I look around and see all of the love that we share. I take pleasure in all I have accomplished. Whatever attention I receive or don't receive, I am serene, for I know full well what it took for me to get where I am. I celebrate myself and all who travel the road with me and feel grateful to Spirit for being my companion always. Oh, I love that for you. That's such a positive card. So take that. Let me know your thoughts on this eclipse energy. How are you feeling? Are you feeling the energy coming in? What's happening with your partnerships? And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Virgo and Virgo risings. You guys are doing this solar eclipse, new moon in your 6th house. This is something new is brewing here for your work, for your routines, for your service to other people. This is activating the Pluto in your 6th house, which has been there kind of on and off since 2023 now. So you will notice over the next 6 months something is brewing. You may notice something on the eclipse. You may notice things now. You may notice it over the next 6 months, and definitely collectively after 18 months, a big change in this section of your chart. So this can be a new job. This can be a sudden new job coming in. This can be new routines. You may suddenly decide you're fed up of your routines, the way you do things, and you want to make a change. You want to do things differently. This is Aquarius. Having Aquarius on your 6th house means you are going to be somebody that either does an unusual job, serves the collective, serves humanity, does something technical, works with the internet, likes to do things differently, likes to be a bit rebellious. You may want some freedom in your working environment, and actually maybe you want some more freedom in your workspace. Maybe you decide, actually, I'm fed up of working 40 hours a week. I want to work 25 hours. There's going to be changes to your working schedule. If you've been looking for a new job, this can definitely bring a new job in. It can be something left field. There can be something suddenly shifting in the working environment. It can be that you're falling out with co-workers. It can be, new systems coming in, new technology systems can shake things up, definitely with the square to Uranus. Just changes to the work, your co-workers or people that work under you. If you're somebody that you have subordinates, changes to them, that can definitely be the case. This is also the house of pets, so a new pet can come in. A pet can something can be changing with a pet. That's also possible. And this is your health. So make sure you're looking after your health. Aquarius on the 6th house can take an unusual approach to health in some way, but it's a fixed sign, so you can get a bit fixated on certain health matters. You may be looking at holistic methods of health. There can be some health matters come up with the square to Uranus, so make sure if you're having any niggles or anything, go to the doctor and get checked out, especially with Pluto here. It can just be that you're changing your diet, your alcohol intake, how much do what are you eating? You're watching what you're eating, you're changing your diet, you're focusing on exercise, changes to exercise groups, starting new groups, starting a new gym, all possible. Square to Uranus in the 9th house, your beliefs about health, your beliefs about work can be changing. Traveling for work is also possible. It can be that you're traveling for work. Now, what else do I want to say about that? This is also the house of service. A service worker shows up here. This is about you being of service to other people, but it's also about service workers. So people coming in to fix the sink or fix the shower or, having to get an electrician in. Those are all service users. So you may see that showing up in some way, shape or form in your life. Now, the traditional ruler of this is Saturn, and it's conjunct Neptune in your 8th house. So this is about there being something is dissolving around the way that you do things currently. You're letting go of systems that were once effective for you, or health regimes that were once effective for you, as you build something new. There can also be an element of transformation when it comes to your health. Big transformation. So like I said, please make sure that you are going to the doctor if you're having anything coming up. And I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm just saying the 8th house is the house of transformation. This is the house of health. So we have to make sure that we are looking after our health when these transits do show up. This can be, like I said, your routines dissolving away because you want to start something new. Work can be having an effect on you psychologically, or maybe you are focusing on therapy in order to look after your physical health. Maybe you are somebody maybe you're going through your own transformation. Maybe you're working with a health coach, or you're working with a therapist, or you're working with a psychologist in order help your health, basically. Working with other people's money. So if you're somebody that works with money or other people's money, so if you work in finance, there can be some things lost here. Be careful when it comes to investments. If you're somebody that has crypto or something like that, you may see things fall away here. That can be connected. But if you work with money, there's just going to be some things that you need to kind of work through, because things can kind of get lost with Neptune and Saturn here. Things are kind of falling away, but you're also building new structures. So new structures are going to take place. So it can be new financial structures at work, new finance company coming in, new accountant coming in. That kind of stuff can also happen. Or maybe you're focusing on your money in order to improve health, or maybe your money is having an effect on your physical health. All of those things can be showing up, but for the most part, this is going to be about your routines and your work. And there's going to be changes coming in for that. Now, the North Node is still in your 7th house, so this is still about your relationships with other people and how they've changed over the past couple of years. And yeah, Saturn and Neptune in the 8th house is about your psychological welfare. And so how is your work not supporting you mentally? How is your work having an effect on your mental health? That can also be coming up. So you guys get the Two of Water. That's quite a nice card, actually. I'll just find the affirmation for you. Okay, Two of Water. I also want to say the 8th house is partnership, like intimacy. So it can be about intimate connections in the workplace as well. So harmonious partnership, loving and lasting relationship, heart connection between two souls. I partner with one who is in harmony with me. Together we explore what is and might be, knowing we are there for each other. Two hearts beat as one, as we take turns replenishing and encouraging the other. I have someone who can bring out the best in me, and I can do the same for another soul, for we are all expressions of divine love. So I think a lot of this is going to be about co-creating with work-wise, like working with others. This is about working with others. New people coming into your workspace, working with a personal trainer. Aquarius is about the collective anyway, working in groups. So I just feel like this is about partnership when it comes to the work that you're doing and the service that you're providing. If you're somebody that's providing a service, maybe you're being encouraged to provide it in an intimate space with other people. So let me know, Virgo, does that resonate? What are your thoughts? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Libra and Libra rising, you guys are experiencing this new moon solar eclipse in your 5th house. So the 5th house is a bit more friendly to you. It's trining, it's a fellow air sign, so it's a little bit of a friendlier energy than some of the other signs. However, it's still an eclipse and it still brings change. So the 5th house is your love life, it's your romance, it's your relationships, and it's everything that you are creating. So it's your children, it's your business, it's where you take risks, it's where you stand in your limelight, it's your ego. This is the Leo house, right? So this is about self-expression, creativity, standing in your power and standing in the limelight. And something new is starting for you here, a new creative phase, a new creative process. Eclipses bring change. Eclipses bring change, and this eclipse is squaring Uranus in the 8th house. So this is changes to your joint finances, changes to how you see yourself, how you love yourself, kind of shadow parts of you where you're working on your psychology. There can be some changes coming through there. Changes to intimacy. Excuse me, sorry, I keep burping. I do channel this, so like when I'm burping, I'm not just being like a really rude belcher. It's just all coming out. So your love life, okay? So for some of you, this is going to bring changes to your love life. Big changes, okay, over the next 2 years. There can be a new relationship coming in, a new romantic relationship coming in that's very destined, that's very karmic, because that's what eclipses bring. It can be changes to your children, onto the idea of having children, okay? So there can be changes in your child's life that are quite big and important. Maybe they're changing schools, maybe they're going through a process, maybe they're going through something. but it can also bring new children in if that is something that you're looking for, something that you want. Romance and dating and creativity, you know, changes here, something new, something blossoming. It can be that you're going on an important first date. Maybe you are dating somebody, but it's in the sign of Aquarius. So this is going to be like something new, something unusual, something unconventional when it comes to a romantic partner. This house is also connected to SE eggs. So kind of new and fun ways to spice things up in that area can definitely come, especially with the square to Uranus in your 8th house, which is also connected to those types of topics. Maybe you're spicing things up with your partner, which can be quite a fun use of this energy, especially as Saturn that is now moved into your 7th house of your relationships, and it's dissolving boundaries. So Saturn conjunct Neptune in the 7th house is actually dissolving old ways that you used to do things when it comes to your romance. This is letting go of old relationship patterns, letting go of old relationship ideas as you build something new with a partner. So relationships that aren't aligned can fall away. There can be an element of getting serious when it comes with a partner, so making a commitment. That's also possible. But if this is to do with like business and creativity, then forging something new creatively with somebody else. Maybe you're working in partnership with somebody. Maybe you have people coming in that want to work with you, business partners that want to work with you. Getting creative one-on-one with other people can be a theme. So yeah, like a new creative project, a new creative phase can really be beginning here. And actually you might feel quite inspired. Aquarius is a very creative sign to have on the 5th house. It's extremely creative because it thinks outside the box. And so there can be some huge creative ideas coming in for you when it comes to your clients, when it comes to the people that you're working with. But the old ways of doing things are falling away. So for you, this is romantic, this is about children, this is about creativity, this is about you stepping into your limelight, but you're doing it differently, you're doing it with the fresh energy, you're doing it in partnership with somebody else, and you're just going for it. It's Aries, it's trial and error. Saturn wants you to take your time, and he might create some blockages here, but Aries is like, right, let's just try this, and if it doesn't work, we'll keep trying again. You guys get the 6th of fire, very creative card. So this is quite a creative one for you guys. Stepping into the limelight, very 5th house. Being an enlightened influencer. I generously model my transformation so that others might be inspired. I put my light atop a hill so it can shine forth, helping others to find their way. I remain aware of shadows and people who have trouble basking in the warm light of higher awareness. I bless them but do not dim my own beacon. It's time to renew my trust that I am contributing to the highest good of all in my own unique way. Wow, that is really very 5th house. Everything I've just mentioned is very accurate for that card. So you guys need to step into your limelight. Something new is brewing. So really exciting for you. Let me know what it is. Let me know how this video resonates. Don't forget I do personal readings. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Scorpio and Scorpio rising. You guys are experiencing this new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius in your 4th house. So this is a house that is squaring you. So it's a little bit more uncomfortable because it's squaring your Scorpio placements, whether you're sun, moon or rising, especially if you have anything around 28 degrees, this is going to be squaring you. So an angular house, it feels more sensitive. So an eclipse in the 4th house, this is bringing changes, and it will be bringing changes to you, Scorpio, over the next 2 years, connected to your home, your family, your home environment, your emotions, your ancestral wounds, everything that you keep inside of you behind closed doors in the comfort of your 4 walls is the 4th house. Okay, it's your foundations, it's where you came from. So eclipse here is something new, something unexpected. So this eclipse is squaring Uranus in your 7th. Something unexpected can be happening with a partner, maybe, or with a family member. So something out of left field can be happening. Maybe you have an argument with a partner. Maybe your family member's acting up. Maybe you're deciding to move. Maybe, you are renovating the house. You know, Aquarius is actually a very creative sign. It can be that you're getting creative and you're deciding to make some changes within the home. Eclipses do bring change, but it's change that is destined, and it's change that is meant to be. So a new moon here is the start of something new for you. It can be that you're actually addressing or learning about your family tree, or addressing ancestral patterns of behaviors. That kind of stuff can happen in the fourth house. Fourth house is one of the houses where we let things go. So it is a house where we can do a lot of healing. It's quite an introverted energy in the fourth house. You may be, and actually you may come from quite an unusual family in some way with Aquarius on here, right? And with Pluto here, this eclipse is activating this Pluto placement. So you will start to see changes within the family, within the home, in your four walls. Now, Saturn, that is the traditional ruler of this, is conjunct Neptune in the sixth house. So this is an element of things falling away. Boundaries being dissolved. The way that you used to do things may be changing. Maybe you're having to soften your traditions. Maybe you're having to change your family traditions. Maybe you're having to change the way that you show up in terms of discipline with your children. Maybe that's the way that you're changing. Your discipline's changing, or your discipline's falling away. Your goals and your boundaries are changing in some way when it comes to your family. Maybe you're knocking down a wall. Maybe you are renovating a house. Maybe you're changing the way that you approach your kids. Maybe you're changing the way you approach your mum or your dad. This can also be about your work, because Saturn and Neptune are now conjunct in your sixth house. So this is changes to how you're of service and your work to others. So if you work from home, there can be some changes here. Maybe you're deciding you do want to work from home. Maybe you're deciding you don't want to work from home anymore. And that's the change in the fourth house. There's a direct connection here between your work, your routines, and your home environment, your family environment. So this could involve your children, the routines that you have with your children, how you show up for them. Like I said, how you set boundaries for them, that could change. How you're being of service to other people. So maybe you're taking more responsibility when it comes to your work, and that is having an effect on, that's coming from this emotional state of how you feel. The fourth house is also emotions. There can be a new beginning here for you emotionally. You addressing your emotions, your safety, your security. Uranus is the modern ruler of this, and it's, like I said, it's in Taurus in the seventh. So this does kind of tie in other people. So somebody else that's important in your life, or a significant one-on-one relationship, it ties that in, and there can be a change or something unexpected coming. Maybe somebody says something to you and it really surprises you. It could be a best friend, it could be a child. Something comes in that surprises you. Something comes in from a partner that surprises you, or something that you didn't see coming. Or maybe you can make a breakthrough when it comes to your emotions and your feelings towards partnership, towards relationships. That could also be possible. You guys get the Justice card. This is about karma. The law of cause and effect is in play now, as I see elements of my life balance out. What goes around comes around. I'm now seeing evidence of this law in the conditions of my world. So if anything, whatever's happening, Scorpio, is karmic. So just kind of try and ride the waves. If this feels a bit kind of emotional and chaotic, you may be quite emotional around this eclipse, but the best thing to do in this kind of energy, in the fourth house energy, is to really kind of journal, go within, see what's coming up, and know that eclipses are always pushing us towards our destiny. And there definitely can be tying in themes to do with children with the North Node in the fifth, I'm thinking, or romance. So children, romance, family members, and all of those themes, you've got to tie them together. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know how this resonates for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. So you guys are experiencing this eclipse in Aquarius in your third house. So this is a new moon solar eclipse. This is activating the section of your chart to do with community, and it is a friendly energy, one of the more friendly energies to you, because it's sextiling you. So changes within the community, changes within your neighborhood, changes within your mind. The third house is our mind. It's the information we're taking on. It's what we're reading, what we're learning, what we're writing about. It's our day-to-day as well, like the people that we're meeting day-to-day, because this is the house of connection and community. So a new moon here is something beginning. It can be a new community building for you. And you are going to be having eclipses here, Sagittarius, for the next 2 years, highlighting the pull towards community, highlighting a change in your neighborhood. This can be probably potentially a house move with the North Node in the 4th house, and then these community matters coming in, these neighborhood changes coming in, thinking about living in separate places, thinking about living in new places, and that energy can kind of be coming in for you. A square to Uranus in the 6th house can be something unexpected. So there can be a sudden change in your perspective, a sudden change in something, some information that you're taking on. You may be wanting to learn something. You may be wanting to teach something. Your thoughts and your ideas about children, about romance may be shifting, as Saturn that rules this traditionally conjuncts Neptune in your 5th house. So your ideas and your beliefs that you once believed in can be falling away. Your mindset can be shifting. Your mindset can be softening. Things that you've been learning may be changing. Maybe you're learning something completely new. Maybe your ideas around romance are shifting. Because the 3rd house is social media. So if you have your own business or you work on social media, there can be some changes here around how you're showing up. The way you used to do things can be changing because you're going to be building something new creatively with Saturn and Neptune in the 5th house. You're focusing on structure. You're focusing on doing something new and fresh. And maybe your ideas around this are really kind of forming at this time. Over the next 6 months, you may see changes to your vehicle, to cars. Maybe might have a business connected to the travel or industry in some way, transportation in some way. That's also possible. The way that you communicate with your children can change. That's also possible. Changes in your child's life. If you have children, changes in your child's life connected to community, connected to their neighborhood, all of that can actually also be showing up. There's this big connection here between connection, community, neighborhood, but also your romantic partner or your children or your business yourself. It's going to manifest differently for everyone. North Node is still in the 4th house. Changes to your home, your family, also possible with the North Node in the 4th. But the square to Uranus is something unexpected coming, a sudden light bulb moment, a sudden change, a sudden bout of rebellion. Uranus rules this modernly. So Uranus in the 6th house can be to do with your work and the community. Maybe you're working within the community. Maybe you're showing up work-wise. Maybe you're getting involved in community matters. Maybe you're making new friends, getting involved in new groups. If you are trying to do that, then this transit is going to be really helpful for that. Breakthroughs, when it comes to serving community wise. So that's going to be interesting for you, Sagittarius. But also, like, the 3rd house is connected to how we think and how we overthink. So there can just be an element of overthinking for some of you. Aquarius is an air sign, so just be careful of that. And you do get the 8 of air, which is linked to our thoughts. The air cards are always linked to our thoughts. It's the same as the 8 of swords. So 8 of air is release from denial, seeing things as they are, and clarity. With spirit at my side encouraging me, I open my eyes to see things as they really are. To be disillusioned is to free myself from illusions that keep me from the growth and healing I deserve. So I bid goodbye to illusions that have clouded my vision. Honesty gives me strength and courage to face whatever I have to face. Okay, so that's actually one of the more positive air cards where you're actually changing, because 8s are about transformation. There's a change in the way that you're thinking when it comes to your work, when it comes to service, when it comes to your health, or when it comes to love life, children, business. So put it all together and let me know how that resonates for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Capricorn and Capricorn rising, you are experiencing this solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius in your 2nd house. So this is a new moon essentially on steroids. This is big changes coming for you, Capricorn, when it comes to your finances. A new moon is the beginning, it's the start of something. You're going to see this change over the next 6 months, and then also over the next 18 months, changes to your finances. Excuse me. So, new moon in the second house. This, this is very financial, okay? This is new money coming in. This is money going out. This is a rearranging of your finances, because with an eclipse, it's kind of monumental shifts. So most likely it's going to be something like there's some changes within your home environment, and that's affecting your finances. Changes within your children, and that's affecting your finances. So for example, it can be that you've had a baby and you're going back to work part-time, and so there's going to be this big shift and change around how much you're earning. Maybe there's a change in your business, and that's going to be affecting your income. Maybe you are starting your new business. Maybe you are deciding to work from home, and therefore that's going to, have an effect on your income. The second house is also our values and our self-worth. So something new here around what it is that you value. Maybe you're deciding that you want to work from home more, because you want to be at home more, and your values around your possessions, your home life are changing because you're something's happening in your life, and you're just deciding, actually, it's not really worth it. I'd rather work from home, or I'd rather not work from home, or I'd rather spend more time with my children. All of those things can be coming up. Self-worth can be relevant, focusing on what's actually important to you, but also what you love and what you love about yourself can be themes. You might not notice anything happen here straight away, but you will notice something happen over the next 6 months. Excuse me. So this new moon is traditionally ruled by Saturn, which is conjunct Neptune in the 4th. So this is about your current financial state dissolving. You're letting something go about your current financial state because you want to build something new. There's something new here, especially around your home and your family, to do with your finances. So it can be that you're spending money on your home, or maybe your money is melting away. Maybe you're actually spending money on property. Maybe things are happening in your home and you're having to spend a lot of money on your property. That's possible as well. But something you will build here as Saturn moves through the 4th house, and it might feel uncomfortable. You might be having a bit of a reality check. You might have to tighten your belt a bit, so to speak. But you're just feeling this impulsive urge to change something, or to spend money, or money's coming out from you. Or you could be making money from property. If you're somebody that works in real estate, for example, you could be making money from property. That's also possible. What else do I want to say about that? The modern ruler of this is Uranus, and it's in the 5th house. So again, this is tying in themes of children, business, creativity, and love life. Maybe there's some changes in your romantic partner's finances. Maybe you are spending money on your children. Maybe there's big changes in your child's life and you're having to spend money on them, or their life is affecting your finances. Something unexpected can come here. There can be a breakthrough with your finances, or it can be an unexpected bill, an unexpected payment. But over the next 6 to 18 months, you will see changes financially as you're working out kind of your priorities and what's most important to you. With the North Node in Aquarius, we can often see money coming in. As the North Node moves into Aquarius, you may see money coming to you, and maybe it's coming to you from a family member, maybe it's coming to you from a property sale. That's definitely possible as well. You guys get the 6th of air, another air card, for this Aquarius eclipse. Rite of passage, a necessary change in thinking to gain greater wisdom. However turbulent the waters at the moment, I trust that if I create calm within, my outer conditions will soon be calm too. I am conditioned to expect troubles ahead, but I have shifted my awareness, and I know that I can choose to believe that stepping into the unknown will bring me to what I truly deserve. I am in a transition to something better. Okay, so if there is something going on for you guys that's difficult, then just know that, as this card says, there is a necessary change you've got to change your mindset. You've got to think more positively. You've got to create that calm within. And maybe Saturn and Neptune moving into the 4th house is making you realize that you're not calm within. Saturn in the 4th can feel quite isolating. So there may be something going on when you're feeling a bit isolated emotionally, and you are learning that peace comes from within. And that's going to be one of Saturn's lessons over the next couple of years for you guys. So let me know your thoughts on this eclipse energy, what's happening for you, what's showing up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Aquarius and Aquarius rising. This is very important for you guys because obviously this is happening in your sign. So the North Node is not quite in Aquarius yet, but this new moon in your own sign is bringing huge monumental shifts around your identity. And the North Node is going to move into your sign. You've got Pluto there. You guys are not going to be the same at the end of the next 2 years because you are stepping into your power. You are taking back your power. You are speaking up for yourself. You are finally deciding to put yourselves first. Eclipses in your first house bring change. Okay, this is change connected to all aspects of your life. Now, a new moon is a new beginning. It's squaring Uranus in your 4th house. So there can be some change to do with home, to do with family, to do with your emotions. This is a new beginning for your identity. Who are you? Who are you? Who is you as an Aquarius sun, moon or rising? Who are you? How do you show up in the world? What do you do for a job? What's your family like? What's your home like? What's your life direction like? There can be monumental change and shifts in the direction of your life, in all aspects of your life over the next couple of years. And this new moon is activating a new beginning. It can be a new beginning around your appearance, how you want to show up. Now, with Saturn, that's the traditional ruler of this in your 3rd house, conjunct Neptune, something is dissolving about your identity. There's a part of your identity that's dissolving. You may actually at the moment feel a bit confused about who you are because your old identity is falling away before you work to a new version of you. As Saturn moves away from Neptune, you may start to step into your power a bit more with Saturn in Aries. This is about a new identity around yourself. But at the moment, you're in the shedding phase. Saturn in the 3rd house, this is you and your community. This is you branching off into the community, getting serious around community matters. But this is also how we think. The 3rd house is connected to our mindset. So there can be an element of thinking negatively or having to address how you think about things, address your thoughts. Working on your mindset can be key during this transit. It could be that you're branching out, maybe you're joining the school committee or you're taking on a responsive role within your neighborhood. And that's where the new identity is going to come in. You've had the North Node in your 2nd house, so there may have been changes to your finances over the past kind of 18 months. And the North Node is still here at the moment. So this can bring in, what do I value? What's important to me? The sign of Aquarius is about being different, and that's what you guys are. You stay in your own lane. You don't conform to the norm. You're individual. You're rebellious. You don't want to be like everyone else because you're not. You're not like everyone else. You're very, very unique, and you're standing by your values with the North Node in Pisces in the 2nd, and you're really analyzing what's important to me. What are my values? And you're standing true in that. And this particular eclipse is going to be the start of a new you standing in your power, you doing your own thing. Pluto in your 1st house can be challenging because it can bring up your shadow side. It can bring up darkness. It can bring toxic people into your life. It can bring those power struggles with individuals that you have to deal with. And you may have to you're going to be having to probably deal with more of that as Pluto moves through your sign. But this eclipse is like, okay, who am I? What are my connections? Who are my friends? How do I think? And you're being encouraged to, bearing in mind, this is a friendly, although it's in your 1st house, is a friendly energy with the Saturn and Neptune conjunction in your 3rd. So it's like, what connections are actually genuinely important to me, and not to jump in too quickly to the people that you first meet, because Aries has a tendency to just jump in. Saturn's going to be teaching you lessons around not to trust people too soon, and you're going to be learning that. But this is going to be a monumental year for you guys, and you get the love card. Lead with love, come from love. This is a major arcana card. Oneness. In all of life, there is only the illusion of separation. In fact, we are all reflections of one another. When I make life choices, I tend to see things as either or. What if every choice I make is about an experience, a sharing, and an exploring? What I choose to see the unity When I choose to see the unity in all things, magic abounds. Love is all around me. Spirit loves me unconditionally. And I can give and receive abundance and love. And I just had loneliness come in. I just had a feeling of you may actually be addressing where you've isolated yourself, guys, because you can have a tendency to do that. And actually Saturn and Neptune in the third house is like, okay, I've isolated myself from so many people now. Who are my people? And you're having this lesson, and this realization is going to be coming through for you as Saturn moves through the third. And so this eclipse is going to be part of that change of view of how have you managed to isolate yourself? How can you get back within a community? Because Aquarius is the sign of community, and you thrive best when you are in one, but at the same time, you can also alienate yourself. So it's an interesting kind of double-edged sword there. So let me know your thoughts on that. Thank you for watching. Hope this eclipse energy is going well for you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so Pisces and Pisces rising. This Aquarius eclipse is happening in your 12th house, in the sign of Aquarius, obviously. So this is a very hidden and sensitive part of your chart. An eclipse in the 12th house is spiritual, it's private, it's about your dreams, your intuition. It is about what goes on behind closed doors, how you self-sabotage, Pisces, and we know that you do that a lot. Now, the North Node is still in your sign. You are still experiencing change. What changes have you guys gone through over the past 18 months? I know a lot of you have gone through a lot of change, really stepping into your power, losing people that are no longer aligned with you, which can feel uncomfortable, but really stepping into trusting your journey. Pluto in the 12th house can bring loss, and the eclipse may be actually activating your process of healing. The 12th house is healing. So there can be a new beginning for you around your healing process, okay? And the way that you heal may be slightly different to other people in the sign of Aquarius. It may be unusual. Maybe you do like to focus on community, or maybe you like to isolate yourself. Maybe you like to distance yourself. Maybe you like to become aloof, which can be Aquarian as well. Now, the 12th house is where we let things go. And if we don't let things go, we become a victim. So there may be themes here around you feeling like you are a victim. So my advice to you would be, how can you lean back into that North Node in Pisces of trust and surrender and spirituality, and come away from that victimhood of, why has this happened to me? Why am I like this? Why has this thing occurred? Because the 12th house is connected to our mental health. And squaring Uranus in the third, this is about our mindset. This is about sudden shifts in our mindset. This is about thinking, it can be about thinking negatively. So just really going within. The best use of this energy would be to focus on your spiritual healing. This would be to meditate. This would be to go and do some energy healing. Go and get some Reiki. Go and do some breath work. Go and join a spiritual group where you're healing yourself. Go on a retreat. That would be a really beautiful use of this energy. Go to the spa, go to a retreat. You may find yourself under this energy in a place of confinement, such as visiting a hospital, a clinic, a prison. That's all possible. A church, places of solitude and confinement show up in the 12th house, and it can be an unexpected visit with the square to Uranus. And Saturn, that is the traditional ruler of this, is conjunct Neptune. So this is about you being lost in your own thoughts. This is about letting go now. Whatever you've been holding on to, Pisces, now is the time to let go, because you need to heal it. You need to heal it. You need to move on. Your values may be changing. There can be some change in coming for your finances. You may be having to tighten your belt with Saturn and Neptune in the second house. Maybe you don't know where your money is. Maybe your money is falling away from you, or your values are changing, and there's a real kind of realization around what's important to you. What do I value? What's important to me? And there's this big change there happening for you. The 12th house is also our dreams. So you may be having quite vivid dreams around this. Your dreams will be speaking to you. So if you can, definitely write them down, because they're trying to tell you something. So dreams, dream state, subconscious, there can be some subconscious shifts going on, some subconscious healing. So this is a good time to kind of listen to subliminal messages while you're trying to sleep. Try and reprogram that subconscious mind. Try not to fall into escapism, because this is the house associated with drink, drugs, things that help you get out of your body and just into the clouds. you need to ground yourself, because you can get lost. Again, it's this woe is me energy can be the negative manifestation of this. 12th house is about healing, and you are going to have more eclipses here. The North Node is going to move in, so you need to lean into spirituality. You need to lean into understanding that things happen for a reason, and things happen as they're supposed to, and come out of this victimhood of, why is this happening to me? But like I said, some of you might be using this in a more spiritual way, spiritual energy, which is great. And there can be themes of connection, the mind. I do think the mind is quite relevant here, with Uranus in the 3rd house being the modern ruler of this. You know, what are my thought processes? How am I thinking? How can you heal by connecting with others? How can you heal by connecting with a certain community that's going to help you heal, rather than getting lost? You know, maybe you could get lost in a book instead of in unhealthy ways. But there is just this element of healing, this element of letting things go, and big shifts coming for you in terms of your healing process. Yeah, that's kind of the main thing I want to say. And your values kind of shifting. Limiting beliefs around money can also show up here as well, with Saturn conjunct Neptune. Old ways of thinking, letting go of limiting beliefs around money. So you can do some kind of money unblocking during this energy as well. But it's quite a secretive part of the chart and an internal part of the chart. And you may just feel called towards going inwards around this time. But yeah, what are you healing, Pisces? What are you letting go of? Let me know in the comments how this resonates for you. Make sure you're looking after yourself. Make sure you're looking after your energy, because you guys have very sensitive energy. You pick up on everything. Sending you lots of love for this eclipse. Let me know how that resonates. Oh, I didn't read your card. How dare I? You guys get the High Priestess. Sorry, let me read the High Priestess for you. This is mystery. Some things are not meant to be known intellectually. How funny. But are meant to be experienced through intuition. This card reminds me to trust that I have access to higher wisdom and knowing when I tune in and trust my vibes. This is the time when mysteries will be revealed and I can grow as a result. So that really does speak towards trusting and surrendering and coming out of your mind, the things that I just said. It's a very spiritual card. So take that, guys. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, drop a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.